Hi, and welcome to episode 7 of the Groomer Next Door. If you were listening to episode 6, you'll know that this is episode 7, part 2, continuation to episode 6. I am your host, Chris Green, and sitting next to me is the lovely Sarah.
Hello.
All right, well, diving right in, just to kind of put some synopsis on the last episode. We were talking about today, we had a great discussion on Akita World. We had a picture of our Akita, and it had a rainbow tail, which, as we had talked about in episode 6, everything was non-toxic. We gave you guys a lot of information on what we're doing. But anyways, enough of that. If you are curious where we're leaving off, please take a listen to episode 6. And again, as always, thank you to everyone, good and bad, who participated in today's Q&A.
Right. We've had quite a few people say, oh, well, that's cute. One lady said that she was planning on doing the same thing, but the color blue later on in the summer. And then we have people saying, hey, as long as it's non-toxic, it doesn't hurt the pet, what doesn't matter?
Right.
It's not like the dog's hiding her tail or not wanting to be seen in public, which I did discuss in episode 6 about how some dogs do take very high offense to certain things being done in grooming. But there's other negative stuff, like one person, I'm not going to mention names like we said before, don't need to be rude. This one lady said, I personally find this disgusting. Why don't you do something constructive like therapy visits and obedience training? Well,
that's a very good point, actually, and we can topic that.
Well, see, the thing is that I have all intentions, and I know you have all intentions, on finding people who do therapy with the dogs, who take dogs into the hospital. I know I groom one therapy dog. His name's Buster. Buster actually met my dad in my dad's final days while he was at the hospital, and brought my dad so much joy. So much. He got to see his big, fluffy, golden doodle, and it just so happened I just groomed the dog the day before. So that was kind of nifty. And then as for the obedience training, I'm hoping to connect with a couple trainers here in town to see if they wouldn't mind having a cup of coffee and do a podcast. So not only are we, talking about color that this picture so happened to show, but we do have further intentions on helping others with the obedience training.
Right, and if you wonder, well, how are you going to find all this stuff out? Excuse me. It is really actually quite simple. My contact at the animal shelter has all of these obedience trainers, and he does have a lot of different organizations that he deals with. So he has the contacts, and you can reference back to episode 3 where I actually took a visit to our local animal shelter. And if you recall, he did say that we have them on file. We will actually be getting in touch with them, and we will be doing an episode with them to explain on just some of the how-tos of what you can do at home without needing to actually go and spend money for an obedience trainer. There are a lot of different techniques that you can do, and we're not experts. We're not going to put a bunch of hats on saying we know how everything is to be done and listen to us. We're not going that way. What we're doing is we have the vehicle, and that vehicle is the Groomer Next Door podcast. This is to be brought to you so that all your questions can be answered, and not just by some know-it-all who knows nothing, but by actual professionals who do this for a living.
Exactly, and that's what we're trying to help those in need. I'm hoping that the trainer, when we get a chance to talk to them, will be able to give a couple tips on real good ways of keeping the dog from chewing. I know on Akita World, I saw a picture of an Akita that tore up a pillow, and the owner said it's not the first time, so it's happened before. But we'll definitely try to cover that. So, the lady who did say that, we are going to get to that eventually.
Again, this is a podcast that we charge nothing for. That's actually going to reference one that I actually had early on in our lawn stream that went on for quite a few hours. When I post on Akita World, I am very fortunate to have the ability and the luxury by the site to do this. I am not advertising where we work. I am not advertising to buy our podcast. I'm not asking anybody whatsoever to buy anything. In fact, actually, Sarah and I spend money so that we can produce this, and we're able to give the listener more.
Yep.
I will put a link on there on Podbean where you can locate this. You're able, if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you're able to get a small app that will go on your iPhone, iPad that has all the episodes right at your fingertips. These are little things that we're paying for so that you have this show at your fingertips. And we want nothing from you except for you to listen to the show and interact with us, because this is for all of you.
Well, exactly. We I don't know what else to say really, other than everybody has their own unique taste and style. Everybody wants their pet looking the way they want it. There is nothing wrong if you want your dog or your Akita as natural as the day it was born. That's great. You know, Akitas are so nostalgic. One of the reasons why I fell in love with this.
They're a work of art.
They're beautiful.
They really are.
I mean, you can get a Schnauzer, and Schnauzers can look so gorgeous with a proper haircut, and just, you know, all dogs will be. It doesn't hurt the dog, you know, and in all aspects, a human is an owner of the pet. As much as some people may disagree, they are a part of our family, but we are the owners. Okay, we feed them, we make sure they get proper care. Sometimes we groom them on our own, but you're right. I know one person posted on here, what will my dog gain by getting a colored tail? Nothing. It's just for the amusement of their humans. You know, you're right. It is an amusement to the humans. Nothing wrong with dyeing a dog's hair. It's not made of any kind of harsh chemicals.
There is something wrong if you're dyeing your dog's tail with a Revlon or L'Oreal hair coloring for people, then yeah, there's definitely something wrong.
Yeah. And, you know, the dog may not get anything from it. Doesn't care, like Katana could care less.
Well, actually, I will interrupt on this one, and I beg to differ. For example, tonight we were outside and a car passed by. Our dog was in the front yard playing around, and a car passed by, and they noticed the dog, and the little kid back, probably about 8 years old, was like, "Oh my God, look at the dog!" And Katana's ears perked up. She knew that they were talking about her. She made full eye contact on them, and she loved the attention.
Yeah, she perked up, and her whole tail started wiggling, and there's that green tail flying around. Oh, now it's green. It's not multicolored. We'll get another picture up soon. But we got it green for St. Pat's this time. I know another person, I believe she's from the UK. She goes, "It's funny what is acceptable in different countries. In the UK, dyeing your dog is not something that is socially or morally acceptable. Must be a USA thing." Well, you know, for one, we're all humans.
Right.
Everybody's one. If you're from the UK, so is the ancestors of my family.
Right.
You know, we're all one. So to separate us, it helps drive a wedge in between the two cultures.
Right.
I know for a fact there are dogs in the UK that are colored.
Yeah.
Because I follow a few people on the internet who have done coloring, and they inspired me, and they're actual creative groomers over in the UK. I wish I knew exactly what country. It might stem from country to country, but I guarantee you it's not immoral.
Right. And you know, that's where I said in episode 6, I had been overseas recently, and a lot of people, and this may be a topic of discussion for another time, a lot of Europe and even Asia do tend to gravitate to the West. A lot of influence is on the West, and that's just the way it is. It's nothing better. Nobody's better.
It's
Nobody's
just,
worse.
it's like driving a wedge in between two sets of humans.
Right.
You know, you don't need to do that. You don't need to go there. We're not trying to go there. We're not trying to drive a wedge in between two cultures. If anything, we're trying to pull people together and rally for the pets that aren't being taken care of properly.
Right.
So we are getting misunderstood all because our dog has a colored tail. They're not seeing the fact that we want to help others with their dogs that they have, whether it be an Akita or something else.
And it's not, you know, another thing is we don't want to come across that this podcast is nothing but something serious. We want to show that, excuse me, we want to show that there's a lot more to us. We are more than just one-dimensional. We have multiple dimensions to us, and we're showing a little bit of, you know, humor and a little bit of constructive properties and attributes and different things, and it is per request of the owner.
Exactly. One person wrote, let me find it again.
Well, actually, you got one?
Yeah, one lady says, well, I like it, and there's nothing wrong with temporary color, as long as there's no peroxide in it to damage the coat. Who cares? Have some fun. And that's it. There's no peroxide. There's no bleaching of the hair first to add the color on. There's no ammonia. I mean, it's perfectly fine. I don't want to divulge what we use for color because we do have competitors in the area who are probably keeping up on us. And there is money making there at the salon, since we're covering the subject of coloring.
And we are, you know, they know what we're doing. We're not talking about, this podcast is not telling where we're at, contact us for an appointment, or even talking about our competitors in any kind of fashion. This is really simply, straight across the board, what we can do to help new and current pet owners.
The only time we ever mentioned where we worked or how to get a hold of us was the episode we did with Keith and the proper foods and holistic foods, super premium foods. But we gave our number out so that the people who are in our area can come and get it, that they know that we're here so they can offer that to their dogs. And I also gave the number out just in case somebody had a call in another state asking about different foods.
And we actually have, we hand out on the business card, on the back of our business cards at our salon, we hand out, there's a stamp that we have on the card that shows our podcast. And, you know, if you are one of our customers, or you want to become one of our customers in this town and you've heard of us locally, great. You know, we're here to answer any of your questions, and, you know, we're here for you as well. This show is for our community, operated in our community, and luckily we're able to produce it all over the world. I actually had one topic I was going to go on. Early parts of my little discussion I had on this very long Q&A was I had a couple people come through, very derogatory.
Yeah.
They wanted to create more of an argument that would carry into a lot more of a inappropriate behavior, so to speak.
You'll find that everywhere, but what's great about Akita World, there's not that many people like that.
And that's what I appreciate. But for future reference, you will see me on Akita World. Like I said, my name is very simple. It's going to say Christopher Green. I'm probably going to change my profile picture to my podcast album art, so you'll know it's me. But nonetheless, I love to hear from you guys. I would love to talk to every one of you. And you know what? I love to hear the negative side of it. But when it does get to the inappropriate behavior, I will not have that kind of discussion because I don't want to discredit the Akita. I don't want to discredit the fan page of Akita World. And I don't want to discredit our podcast. So if you do get out of hand, I will block you like I did to 3 different people.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to have it because that's not who we are. We're not combative people. I believe all of us have a deep down urge to help. How it's portrayed out of our mouths or through our typing is completely different. But on the lighter side, I just saw this one. It was posted over 7 hours ago. This lady said, "I giggled when I saw the picture because when our daughter was 3 years old, she drew pictures with sidewalk chalk on our cement patio. Our white Akita was with her and kept laying in the chalk pictures and ended up with all rainbow colors. That is adorable. I can see Katana doing that on a warm day, wanting to lay on a cold concrete, and Claire's out there drawing with sidewalk chalk. And actually, speak about chalk, the bigger grooming salons like PetSmart are starting to do chalk colors. I don't know how I really feel about that yet. I have to ask one of my grooming buddies who still works for PetSmart how it works out for them. But that I just saw that and just kind of made me giggle. It was cute.
And I really want to add one thing. I had one person contact me by Facebook message. I'll leave the person anonymous. But I got a really great feedback from this person. They're not that far. They're in Texas, and she does not typically actually post on these threads. She decides that she can agree or disagree, but does not want to make a big thing out of it. She is very supportive of what we're doing, and that's very important to us. Obviously, to do something that's productive in any line of work is great. To get reinforced, compliment, that's even better. So I really appreciate your Facebook message, your direct message to me. I only had one Facebook direct message. So that one person, they know who they are. I've already sent that message that I was going to mention them. I won't mention you by name. Feel free anytime to send me a message, any questions, concerns, comments that you have on this. I love to hear from you.
Sorry, there's a lot of loud noises going on right now. We like to take these. We like to expand, different knowledgeable things that we can either look up or find a credible source for it. You just gotta be careful of others who think they know it all.
That is true.
That is a hard part to deal with. There's this one lady who, her dog has all kinds of allergies. This poor Akita, I feel so bad for him. Any dogs with allergies, I feel bad for in general. It's a lot of time that could be extremely miserable for them. But her dog had to have an allergy test, where the spot on her back that was shaved and was pricked with a bunch of the stuff that has allergens attached to it to see which allergies that they are actually allergic to. That's some serious stuff, especially when you force your dog to get pricked. It's just to find out what's causing their issue.
We do apologize again. We do apologize for all the noise that seems to always find us when we do these episodes. There's lots of places, obviously, to sit, and typically everybody does tend to want to sit really close
to the person with the microphone in front of them. But this lady said that she wouldn't let color come anywhere near her pet. Well, that's great. You know your pet so well that you're not going to let this happen. But it doesn't mean your opinion's the only opinion out there.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, and we did find a lot of you. And again, we love to hear that you don't like the idea. And that is great. But understand that there are probably more who are for than against. So, again, I love to hear it. Love your opinions on here. Nobody was right. Nobody was wrong. It's a single opinion that matters, and their opinion matters to them, and we should always be understanding to that.
Well, exactly. If If you don't want your dog to have color, don't have to do it.
That's true.
Simple as that.
Again, I will be posting more on Akita World. You will see, by agreement but from Akita World, they will be mentioning us as well. Again, I said this in episode 6. We are not accepting money from them. They're not accepting money from us. This is solely joining forces to spread positive, reinforced word out there. This is for the benefit of new owners, the benefit of current owners, because I've been doing this 7 episodes now, and I've learned a great deal in the little bit that I've been doing it.
Yep, exactly. And even though I've been grooming for 10 years, I still want to learn. I know one lady said that, she showed or has champion dogs and has had champion dogs for 30 years. Okay, that's fine, but that doesn't mean that my opinion is lesser than hers. But one thing I do want to let people know is that if you do by any chance want to have color added to your dog, make sure you see or clearly what kind of coloring they're using on your dog. I'm going to look up real quick on Google on the name of the jarred coloring that a lot of groomers do use. But find out what's in the ingredients. Take a sniff. See if you can smell the jar or whatever they're using. If it burns your nose or if it has a stinky smell, you may not want to do it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's your pet. You do what you want. I can just give my advice. But find out. There's only one reason why I'm not telling right now exactly what we do, is because we do have competitors. If you're a customer that comes into our salon and wants to know, I'll be very upfront. I'll show you exactly the ingredient. I'll show you exactly how I'll use it, and let you know how long it has to stay on the dog in order to allow any color. So I'm going to find out the name of the jarred color stuff right now.
And this is different than what we use, but like Sarah said, we will definitely divulge all information to every customer that comes in. So if you are a customer of ours and you are thinking, I want to get this done, but I'm not really sure, well, this is the perfect example of talk to your groomer. Come on in, we'll give you a full synopsis of exactly what it is. I do want to mention that in today's discussion on just one, I had 2 postings today. Posting that is, of course, the one we're talking about, that had 95 likes alone, and that does not include all the likes of people's comments during the duration of our conversations. So that is an amazing number, 95 likes just on the picture itself. That's just wonderful. Thank you everybody for participating in this. And again, if you weren't for this and you participated, thank you. I mean this sincerely. Thank you for participating, because honestly, you made a great discussion even better for us. I was able to pretty much go about my life, and we were busy today in multiple different things. It is our day off. We were able to go grocery shopping and spend time with our daughter and even get some downtime for ourselves. And we were able to participate in this discussion throughout the whole day. So that was amazing, and I really hope that we can do this again. And I don't care what the topic is. Throw a topic out there. Give me a message. As we always say, you can always email us at thegroomernextdoor@yahoo.com, or you can send us messages by Facebook. Obviously, both Sarah and I are right there. We're always here to answer those questions. I did have one question that did come up, and I will tell the story this week for this episode. This podcast has actually helped somebody. I'm going to give you a very quick rundown of it, because we're already at 25 minutes into this podcast on the second one, which is amazing. But I got a message this week from a gentleman in Arizona. He was terminally ill and had problems getting his dog groomed. The current groomer was also the vet, and they were charging this poor individual $160, and he didn't know what to do. He didn't want anything to happen to his dog, and he wanted to properly have his dog groomed, but obviously being ill, all of his money was going to medication and insurance and etc. He contacted me and asked, what do I do? I will drop my insurance just so that my dog will be groomed and taken care of. If anything happens to my dog and he dies before me, I could never go on. It was a very hard story to read, and I feel for this gentleman. I sent him multiple messages back on ideas on how he could find a groomer, what to look for. There are obviously, in all areas, you should be able to find a mobile groomer who should be able to come to your home. If you can't find a mobile groomer in your area, definitely look in the yellow pages and contact all your groomers in surrounding areas. There are a lot of groomers who will take into consideration health, disability, age, and they may drive to your house at a small fee or may not charge you a fee at all. Some salons may even have a pet taxi, which is pretty much the same thing. Somebody will come in with a company vehicle, pick up your pup, and they'll charge you whatever service fee on top of your groom. It won't be $160 like the gentleman, and we do wish this individual all the luck, Godspeed. We really hope that we were able to help you, and if we were, great. At least our show is making a difference.
Exactly. That was a very, touching story, hearing that. I know what I used to do. Call around, talk to people, like picking the groomer, episode 2. Find those compassionate groomers. I am one of those compassionate people. I know there is a senior home not too far away from us, and they're allowed to have pets.
Which is very rare for a lot of senior places.
Exactly. What I did is, somebody just called me one day, said, hey, I need to get my dog groomed, but I cannot drive. I do not have a license anymore. Something pulled at my heart. I said, you know what? Let me know where you're at. I'll come and get your pet. The only thing is that you're not going to get your pet back until I close shop. And they were perfectly fine with that. I didn't charge a transportation fee because it was just right up the road from me. Got the dog groomed. I charged him full price for the groom, though. I kind of had to. But here at our new salon, we do have a pet taxi. We'll go and pick up pets from people that they just can't drive anymore, can't get out, or is too sick, or broke their leg.
Or there's snow.
Exactly.
We do have that problem.
Yeah, and our boss luckily has a 4-wheel drive. We do not. We have just a regular sedan. I mean, we come from California. We never needed it. I mean, rain tires, and we're good to go. But now, I wanted to get back to you real quick before we end the show. The other hair dyeing stuff I found out there too, it's called Top Performance Dog Hair Dyeing Gel. It says here it lasts anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks, but the problem that I have with it says to use on dogs 12 weeks and older. Most people aren't going to want their babies colored, but with us, our stuff is safe enough to use on little puppies. This stuff says here, do not use it on dogs under the age of 12 weeks. I wouldn't necessarily want to dye a puppy that young anyways, but if a puppy can't handle the dye, then I don't want my adult handling the dye either. So if you are interested in the color, find out. Make them take the lid off for you to smell it, and if it burns your nose, I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't risk it.
And folks, honestly, I know a lot of us think it's probably really easy to do this stuff at home, and it won't be that big of a deal. Sarah and I, we see home grooms that they think they can groom a dog, and they realize halfway they can't. There are probably dyes that will, you get on Amazon or you get on some kind of website that say they're dog friendly, they put it on their dog, and what happens, but there's an allergic reaction, and they take it to us or the vet will say take it to a groomer and have it washed off properly. be prepared that if you do something at home like this, you could honestly cause harm to your dog. You could actually cause your dog to have all kinds of different medical things. I'm not a vet. Sarah's not a vet. I can't even speculate. I'm not going to.
I've known many cases, but this one that's very particular is this cat. I'm also a cat groomer too. Cats do need to be shaved when they start getting knots and they can't handle the hair on their own. So trust me, folks, this is not mean. It's not cruel. Some cats have to be shaved. But this one kid, a teenager, he really wanted to save his mom $50. We charge $50 for the groom because it is so dangerous. A cat sinks its teeth into you, you're going to have to find something to pry its mouth open. It's dangerous. So the guy didn't want his mom to spend $50 for the groom. Well, he decided to trim the cat on his own. And he got a quarter of the way through with scissors and sliced about 1.5 inches of the cat's skin wide open. There was another incident where somebody was trying to trim their schnauzer's ears, and they themselves cut the tip of the schnauzer's ear. It's just, try to take it to the groomer if you can. If you can't afford the actual groomer for that point in time, call the groomer for advice, for some kind of advice to help continue your knowledge and to help minimize damage.
And, if you actually reference back to episode 3, you'll hear John Redshaw from the animal shelter. He mentions that there are a lot of different shelters, a lot of different places that have for low income. I don't know if there are groomers out there who do this. If you are a groomer and you guys handle low income and you have a special, feel free. Give us an email, Facebook message, anything.
Let us know. I don't care if you're in Oregon, California,
Texas, Florida, New York. It doesn't matter.
If you have a special that will help somebody in need, let us know.
Right.
We will post it on our Facebook. We will post it, or we'll say it on our podcast. If you're having, we'll have free transport for those who have limited income. You know what? Let us know. We will be more than happy to make sure we get the information out.
All right, guys. Well, episode 7 is coming to an end. We do appreciate that everybody stuck around. Episode 6 and 7, if you listen to both, for the part 1 and 2 conclusion of the Akita World Q&A from today. Thank you, everybody, for participating. I'm Chris Green.
I'm Sarah Green. I wanted to say, make sure everybody knows, life is short. Play with your pet.
And everybody, have a pup-tastic week. Until the next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.